We have done a lot of shows on AI the last half of 2025 as we come down to it here. But we have a really neat topic for you today. If you've ever thought about getting an EA or even an AI virtual assistant, and you wondered, what the heck can I use an AI virtual assistant for in my business? How can it help me? How do I set it up? How hard is this going to be? How much is it going to cost? You're going to want to stay tuned to today's show. Welcome to the Key Hire Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Harlock, creator of Key Hire Solutions, where we help small business grow with our talent. And I'm going to be your host today. Before we dive in, a couple things, little housekeeping to do. We had the Small Business Awards. We were nominated as the best business consultant in Houston. Voting has now closed, but we had an unbelievable response from the community to people helping out and casting their vote. And I just want to give you some gratitude and thanks for doing that. We really didn't expect anyone was going to vote. And the amount of emails we had saying, Corey, I voted, good luck, go get them. It was amazing. It was encouraging. It was humbling. And we thank all y'all who went out there and took the time to vote for us, because I know it's a pain in the ass and I appreciate you doing it. Special shout out to Chris M. He promoted it on LinkedIn for us and got a little traction there. Chris, you know who you are. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. While you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're consuming this information, be sure to hit that subscribe and follow button. Help us spread the word. We do this podcast for small business owners to help small business owners. And if we can help each other build this community and get the word out, little actions like that really help. Also, if you're watching or listening on your handheld, scroll to the liner notes. The first line on there says send us a text. Shoot us a text and let us know what you think of the show. We'd love to hear from you, or give us any ideas you'd like to have us cover on the show. Send those. They come directly to me and I'd love to hear from you. And finally, under that, there's Connect with Corey on LinkedIn link. Click that, hit request, make the request to be buddies on LinkedIn, and just put a note in there. Hey, Corey, love the podcast. And I will accept that connection request and we can be friends for the rest of our lives. We've been getting a ton of feedback. Speaking of feedback, on our show with Courtney Watson on how to give critical feedback, we had a couple really interesting comments came in. Russ F. He said, very few leaders excel in communicating clearly on performance, expectations, and asking what I can do to help. Awesome comment. Thanks, Russ. We appreciate it. Jeff K said that there were some great insights on having uncomfortable conversations. And then he said, if you don't like giving feedback, give feedback. It's the only way you're going to get better at it. Thanks, Jeff. Awesome comment. I appreciate it. And then the show I did on November 17th on the great hiring freeze, Amit M. Pointed out, he said, it's a critical point, Corey. A part of that show, we were really talking about how running lean and waiting to see what happens wasn't a great option because you could burn out your good people. And he said, it's a critical point. Overwork is one of those silent killers of retention. It builds up gradually until people hit their breaking point. And I appreciate the comment, Amit. It was exactly the point I was trying to make. And I think you probably made it better than I do. All right, on with the show. AI virtual assistants. Our guest today is Marianne Mlechick, and she is the vice president of operations at Abby Connect, where they do live and AI EAs. She's been with the company for just over 13 years, so I'm sure she's seen it grow and change over the years. So, Matt, let's bring on Marianne.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, Corey. How are you?
Good. Did I butcher your last name, Mlechick?
It's Mlechick, but close enough. Yeah.
There's too few vowels and too many consonants for me there.
You know, a lot of people, they always say Mlechick.
Yeah,
Because MLE, yeah.
Yeah. Malay, what was it?
Mlechick.
Mlechick. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been at Abby for like over 13 years.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm sure you've seen it grow. Were you one of, like, how many employees do you guys have over there now?
About
W-2.
100. Yeah, about 100. So when I started, there
Yeah,
was 5 of
I
us.
was gonna say, what number were you?
Yeah, I think I was number, like, 3.
Yeah, there you go. Very
There
cool.
was about 5 of us in this small little bullpen area, and, since then, we've now grown into a 17,000 square foot office space, and it's just incredibly exciting to see the growth that we've
Yeah,
seen.
amazing. Congrats. That's great.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
you're sitting in Las Vegas, right?
Correct, yes.
How is that going? I've heard lately Las Vegas is having its challenges over there in terms of the strip and
Mhm.
tourism. Have you experienced any of that?
A lot of locals don't go downtown much.
Right.
We have our favorite local spots outside of downtown, kind of about 15 minutes away. I'll go down there sometimes to see a show or to go to
Sure.
dinner, but a lot of the time we're like, oh my gosh, can we get home? So we're not down there too often.
Okay. What's the best restaurant off the strip in your view? Where the
Ooh,
locals go? The best
okay.
local restaurant.
Okay, so I like Korean barbecue. So I love Hawaro. It's really good, has great
Okay.
sushi. Love that place.
Very cool. That's
Yeah.
always my favorite thing to do is find out like when you go to a place like that, that's all these world renowned chefs. The locals are
Yeah.
maybe going there once in a while, but where do they
Right.
really go to eat to get the good stuff? You know,
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
very cool. Vegas, one of my Vegas, the center triangle for me is Vegas, Nashville, and New Orleans. Those are like
Okay.
my three favorite towns. Not my wife's three favorite towns, but my favorite towns.
How often do you normally come to Vegas?
Since kids, not as much, like maybe once a year.
Okay.
If it were up to me, I'd go 2 or 3 times a year, just kind of a quick weekend in and out.
Well, that still counts. So do you go to the casinos
Yeah.
or are you staying? Okay.
We
Good
stay
time.
on the strip, and we're big Cirque du Soleil fans, so we always go see Cirque. We've seen a number of the shows, like a
Oh,
lot.
wow. That's great.
And if there's good concert, like we saw Adele, we've gone and see Bruno, like we've gone and seen some of the Celine.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Awesome.
my wife's French Canadian, so I'm a Celine convert. And Celine Dion in Vegas was probably the best show concert I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen her in Vegas, but maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I don't know you can anymore. She's kind of sick now, but I don't know
Oh,
if she's
okay.
going to tour much. But when she was in her prime, man, that lady can sing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, people aren't here to listen to me talk about that. We want to talk about AI virtual assistants. So
Sure.
we always like to start with definitions. If people are out there thinking, okay, I have a virtual assistant and they do, or I have an assistant, an EA, and they do a lot for me. What the heck is an AI virtual assistant and what can they do for me?
Sure. So, an AI virtual assistant is an assistant that's powered by artificial intelligence. So, this virtual assistant can answer the phones for you. It's conversational. So, you can tell it kind of does sound like AI. I won't say it doesn't sound at all like AI, but it is conversational. So, it can
Yeah,
hold a conversation based on what you enter into the system, like what frequently asked questions you have. It can answer questions, schedule appointments. It can integrate in your system. So this is really beneficial for when your office staff has other things they need to do, or when you're possibly out in the field taking appointments or doing the most important work. The
right.
virtual assistant is there to answer the phones, capture leads for you, and provide that value.
So let's go back before I get
Sure.
into this. So you said they can be conversational.
Yeah.
And the first question that probably comes to people's mind is how do they know what to say?
Oh my
So
gosh, great
how do
question.
you yeah, how do you educate them to talk about your business and answer kind of FAQs and things like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've used our 20 plus years of experience in the receptionist business. We've always had our human receptionist product, and we fed about 1 million calls through our AI system so that it trained the AI how to respond to certain questions. Not only that, but when you do set up the AI receptionist, you're basically setting up call flows. It can handle an unlimited amount of FAQ. So if you have 100 questions that you want the AI receptionist to answer, pricing, hours of operation, anything like that, the AI receptionist can handle that. And then in addition to that, you set up call flows. So you would say, okay, most of my calls that come in are new clients, and then we have current clients, and then we have solicitators. So depending on your call types, that's exactly how the AI receptionist will route them.
When you said solicitator, I was laughing because that's the other AI agents calling in and it's saying, "Oh, you're just another AI agent trying to sell me something."
I get so many of those lately. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, I get all kinds of people wanting to save me money and give me loans like ad
Hmm.
nauseam.
The
Okay, so
loans is crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, so you said you can set up call flows,
Hmm.
and so my business would be different than another business you might set up. So how do I make it unique to my business?
Yeah, it's completely customizable. So you do get a AI receptionist technician that typically onboards you and takes you through the process. We also released our new AI onboarding module actually that walks you through basically a step one, two, three, super easy, super simple to set up. How we have our system set up is like kind of like a drag and drop. So it's almost like you drag and drop different prompts that you want it to complete. So let's say for new clients, of course, those are your money calls, right? So you're
Right.
going to want to talk to those people. So you can set it up to where if somebody says, I'm a new client, or if they mention they're interested in your service, then the AI receptionist can transfer those calls to you and, of course, capture that information. Versus whether, let's say there are some current clients that you can address later, then you can set up that call type to take a message. So there are a lot of different options depending on the call type and direction you want to take it.
So it's smart enough to catch the nuances in the person what they're saying. So if they're saying, I'm calling just to get pricing on a whatever, they might go, oh, that triggers the new client tree. So it automatically shifts there and says, oh, what product are you interested in specifically, blah, blah, blah. Then it will transfer it to, let's say I'm the business owner, it would transfer it to me. I,
Exactly.
when that call comes into me, how do I know what it is and that it's a potential new customer and they're interested in product X?
Another great question. So we
I'm
always
full of
dial.
great questions.
Yeah, you
A
are. So
lot of great questions.
we always dial out from a specific number, which is 866-499-1123. So anytime that you see that 866 number, you can save it in your phone. And not only that, but the AI receptionist does warm transfers. So she would say something like, Hi, Corey, I have so and so on the line regarding X. Would you like to take the call? And then you can say, Yes, I want to take the call. Or actually, you know what? No, go ahead and take a message. And then depending on how you direct it, she'll either take a message or transfer the call over to you.
So it has them on hold. They're not hearing that interaction.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, that's pretty darn cool.
Right?
That's amazing.
So you
And-
can essentially field your own calls too if you have time to
right.
take it, or if you can tell her, you know what, let them know I'll give them a call back in 10 minutes. Then
Okay.
the AI receptionist will do so.
And do I need to kind of have it record my calls or my receptionist or whatever for a little while to understand what questions are coming in and the types of answers I want to give to those questions?
So not typically. It records every single call, and you do have access to all of those calls in your portal. So what you could do is you could almost go through every call and kind of get a feel for what callers are generally calling in about, and then you can go ahead and tweak the prompts. So there are specific prompts in there that you can enter, and you can say something like, "If anybody mentions this, take it as a new client and transfer here." So you can always adjust these different prompts based on, what is coming in.
And is it teaching itself as it goes as well? Like, is it changing the way it deals with things based on the amount of information that's coming in? Or do you need to go do that? Like, is
Not
it self
typically.
learning?
Yeah, not typically. You would need to go in and do that. We also have an AI receptionist technician who listens to a majority of the calls that come in, and he's continuously providing feedback to our development team to make sure that, the AI receptionist is functioning as she should.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
cool thing about this is they're like 24/7. So if someone calls you at 2 in the morning, they're going to pick up and say, hey, Corey's not available right now, but what, leave him a message or any questions I can answer.
100%.
Yeah. No, that's just the answering calls part.
Right.
And then he also mentioned it could help schedule appointments for you so you can give it access to your calendar.
Right.
You'll even mention that you can link it into your CRM so it can record those calls. And does it put a transcript in there? How does, let's start with schedules and then we'll get into CRM.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we have an integration with Google Calendar. So as long as, I mean, you can sign up for Google Calendar, and that basically integrates with most calendars. So the AI receptionist schedules on the Google Calendar, and again, it would depend on the call type. Let's say you want it to schedule new clients or current clients or a specific type of caller, then it would schedule based off that and your calendar availability.
Right. So it'll look at your calendar, say you have a slot here, and then it'll fill it all out. And will it add them? Like, will it add the caller to the meeting as well if it's going to be a Teams call or something like that?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Wow, crazy. I guess
Yeah.
would it ask them for their email to have to do that?
It asks all information. So typically, first name, last name, email, phone number. And then, of course, it already has what it's regarding because it enters the transcript into that
Yeah.
information.
And what's really cool about that is now you're getting all of their contact information,
Oh,
right? And it's like
exactly.
automatically.
Yeah, that's the coolest part about seeing this help business owners. I've heard stories from business owners to where they've said, "You've helped me increase my revenue by 20% by capturing those leads." Or business owners who have said, "I had no idea I was missing so many calls until I had your service." And then you see all these new client calls flowing in, and of
Amazing.
course that helps them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I guess the cool thing about AI is it's not afraid to ask the question.
Mm,
Sometimes
yeah.
if you have your EA sitting there and they're kind of like they're not making the sale or they're just kind of maybe gatekeeping or something, but these guys are they're unabashed. They don't care. The AI is going to ask whatever you tell it to ask. And if people say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, no, I want to give it to you," okay, fine. But if they do, they're like, "All right, let's enter it into the CRM."
Yeah, and another really cool thing that we actually have in our portal are things called call tags. So basically, you can go through and you can look at all of your calls that have come in, maybe the past month, the past 2 months, and our system will tag a new client call. It'll tag current client call. It'll also tag an upset caller call. So we actually had one story that was really interesting to where a business owner came over to us and his assistant was saying, we don't get any new client calls. We never get any new patient calls. And then after enabling the AI receptionist, you find out they were getting like 5 or 6 new patient calls every 2 days. And so it was really cool to see it catch that for them and be able to provide that value.
How come they were missing it? Were they missing the call or were they not asking the right questions when they did take the call or a combination of both?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of both, or maybe not following up with the patient. I think sometimes you get so busy in the day that you can forget to follow up with people, or you can forget to touch base after you take down their information.
Right.
And with the system, you can actually add notes into every call. So
That's
every,
exact. So now we're into the CRM integration, right? Like, will it add a follow up? Like, if they say, "Can someone call me back?" Will it put a note or a follow up thing in my calendar tomorrow to say, "Follow up with Corey. They called yesterday," or within the CRM?
yeah, I love that you asked that. So not yet. That is on the roadmap. It can't do that exactly yet. The system which I'm referring to is our portal. You would just go in and look at the calls that are
Okay.
labeled new client, and then you would kind of add the note yourself.
Okay. So as far as the CRM integration, it's just logging the information from that call.
Exactly. And it can update records and things like
Okay.
that.
But it can't
So
give
you're
you
not,
like
yeah.
it can't tag you like in 3 days, follow up with Joe.
No, but that is definitely on the roadmap.
That'd be amazing, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So
Are
much
we
value.
missing any of the kind of the critical things an AI virtual assistant can do?
I know. I mean, one of the biggest things is it gives you time back in your day. I
Sure.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure most small business owners know a lot of the time you're wearing multiple hats. I can empathize with that too because from being in the business from when we had 5 people to 100 people, a lot of the time, you do end up, wearing multiple hats. And so it's wherever you can automate and lessen the stress on yourself, but also capture those new leads, that is just so incredibly valuable.
Well, and the thing is, it's 100% accurate, right? Like, how many
Exactly.
times would, someone maybe be on the golf course or they're at an event and someone calls and like, yeah, 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 and they hang up. That information doesn't get entered anywhere.
Exactly.
It's in their brain, and like you said, they're supposed to call them back tomorrow. Maybe they forget, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh crap, I forgot. Now the relationship is like, okay, well, you didn't call. I'll go talk to someone else. But it's like 100%. Everyone who calls gets logged, it gets
Mhm.
transferred, it gets moved. And it, like, if I'm on the golf course and they call me and they say, so and so is calling, I can say, take a message, or just tell them to put some time on. I'm busy, but I want to talk to them. Tell them to put some time on my calendar tomorrow. And then boom,
Exactly.
it's done. It's I don't have to worry about it. I can enjoy, maybe I'm taking a client golfing, right? So now I'm not distracted. So uh
Yeah, we want to enjoy those things in life, right?
yeah, well, plus if you're with one client, you don't want to be dealing with another one. Well, they're kind of sitting there looking at you.
Oh, 100%. And that's what's so cool about it is, like you said, a lot of the times you forget, or I mean, I forget too. If somebody calls me, I'll forget to call them back sometimes. Sorry,
Yeah.
mom. But, with this system, you can log in and you can actually review all of your calls that have come in for that day. You can enter notes. You could say, I need to follow up with this person. I followed up with this person. So it really helps you stay on track and stay organized.
So would it kind of a best practice with this be each morning kind of sit by reviewing that call log to make sure um,
Yeah.
anything that was said or whatever happened, any follow-ups need to be done, they're going to be kind of be called out in this call log, so you can go, oh, okay, I'll make a note to call so and so here this afternoon, or
Yeah, absolutely. So you usually receive the call via text message or email, however it's set up. So it can even text you the information of the caller, so you can just scroll back and review those messages as well. But that's typically what I would recommend. We have AI call summaries in the portal, so you don't have to like go in and listen to every single
okay,
call. It gives you like a brief summary of what it's regarding. And then you can add those custom tags to where you can add a tag that says follow up required. You can add a tag that says, new client, or whatever is most important to your business and what's going to provide you the most value.
amazing. Okay, so we always like to talk about mistakes, and I'm sure there are a few of people who try to do this, maybe on their own, or they go to Chat GPT and say, I'm going to try to do some prompts and set this up, or they don't utilize them to maximize their utilization. So, what, in your experience, of kind of some of the missed opportunities or mistakes you've seen business owners make when it comes to utilizing or setting up an AI virtual assistant?
So, some of the mistakes I've seen are setting something up really fast and not particularly caring about the quality. It really depends on the impression that you want left on your callers.
Right.
Sometimes you end up paying a little more, but yes, you do for quality. So if you want something set up, very quickly and without much thought or resources, you can absolutely do so. But a lot of the time, you're going to get a lot of technical error. You could get dropped calls. You could get an AI that's completely repeating themselves or not collecting the information properly. Whereas in here we spent 2 years developing our AI receptionist, and it was based on 20 years of
Yeah,
receptionist conversation.
you guys
So
have a lot of data.
yeah, and when we were really thinking about developing it, we were like, okay, what does a receptionist typically say if a caller says this? They usually say that. So this is how we're going to train the AI receptionist. And a lot of companies that do set up this kind of AI receptionist quickly, a lot of the time it's basically like a phone tree, almost like a glorified phone tree, where
Right.
it's not as conversational as you would want it, to where it can't
Right.
answer the FAQs and direct the calls as you would want it to.
It's, yeah, it feels very robotic or automated or something like that,
Press
right?
1 for this, press 2 for
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
we're talking about going way beyond that, right? Like these people
exactly.
engaging you. So let me ask you this as a best practice. Do you recommend having it say right off the bat, I'm Corey's AI virtual assistant, or do you do not say that and let the person kind of figure it out on their own?
Yeah, typically we don't. We normally have at the end of the greeting, we say, "This is Abby. How may I assist you?" And at times people, they recognize it's a AI receptionist and sometimes they don't, but it really depends on that business. You can set that prompt up in the greeting or you can decide not to, but I mean, a lot of people that speak to it, as long as the AI receptionist is assisting them and they're getting the
Right.
information they need, they're okay with it.
So you think people aren't feeling like it's not even a real person? They're using AI. You think it's already moved into the it's AI. It's helpful. It got me where I wanted to go. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Oh,
mean, the quicker you can get answers and what you need, the better, right?
right. Yeah. Cool. What other mistakes can you think of,
Yeah.
Marianne?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Setting it up not based on experience, setting it up quickly, going with a lower cost option. A lot of
Right.
the time, lower cost, like I said, isn't better. And not testing it. I would say, we offer a 14-day free trial here. So you're free to set it up and test it out and see how you like the AI and kind of play around with it before you decide to buy.
One of the questions I can hear people thinking right now, two questions. How
Sure.
long? So, the battle cry of every small business owner, I don't have the time and I don't have the money
Mm,
for whatever we're talking about, right?
yeah.
So, put their minds at ease. How long does it take to set this up? And I understand you have to play with it, it's a process.
Yeah.
And then, what would some ballpark costing be around having one of these AI agents?
Yeah. So to set it up, it takes about 15 minutes. It's so simple. And I mean, for somebody who doesn't really want to log in and mess with the system that much, you have that 14-day free trial where when you log in, it asks if you want an onboarding. So you can schedule time with one of our AI receptionist technician. And I understand new things sometimes are hard to learn, right? So our AI receptionist technician, when they hop on a call, they are really showing you how to use the system and
Mhm.
helping you set it up. And again, takes about 15 minutes. Sometimes they do last longer because those people that are like, I don't have time, they'll log in and say, oh my gosh, this system is like really cool.
I can do all this stuff?
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
yeah. They're
let's
like,
schedule
where do
another
I
call.
go for this? Where do I go for this? How
It's
do I do
amazing
that?
it's amazing how they can find time when it's, like, really cool and beneficial, right?
And that's about providing the value,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then with our AI receptionist, we do offer that 14-day free trial. So you can test it out, try it
Yeah.
out for 14 days, 24/7.
Yeah. And
And
you don't
then,
need to give us your rates, but just what would someone expect to pay, maybe a range?
yeah, I would say maybe 100, 150. You can certainly get them for a lot cheaper. But again, that's where you're going to be sacrificing on quality.
Is that per week?
Oh, no, that's per month.
$150 a month?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, set it up in 20 minutes and pay $150 a month. You've just blown the whole "I don't have the time, I don't have the money" excuse out of the water.
Oh yeah, it's super cost effective. And one of the best things about it is we love our human employees. Our human employees are the heart of our business. However, the AI receptionist, a lot of the time there's no sick days, there's no benefits, there's no out of the office for lunch. It answers 24/7, so you are
They're
never
working on
missing.
Thanksgiving, so that
Yes.
person who gets a thought on Thanksgiving Day and calls a supplier or something, right? Because
Yep.
I'll just leave them a message and then someone picks up the phone and says, "Oh yeah, well let's schedule a meeting for Friday or Monday or whatever." Right? It's amazing.
Exactly. So you never miss an important call that you might need while you're spending time with family.
Interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marianne, people are thinking, okay, this sounds like something I would like to be doing. What are the kind of first 3 to 5 steps you would recommend they take to see if this is right for them?
Okay, so if they're thinking about setting up the like a virtual
And AI.
receptionist like this,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They say, I want to do this, but what's the right way to do it? We talked about the mistakes, going cheap, not testing it, going with someone who just kind of yeah, ad hoc something together and
Yeah.
it's kind of janky, right? Like, if, in your expert opinion, if I wanted to do this, what are the first 3 to 5 steps I should be taking to kind of make sure this is the right thing for me and make sure I'm getting the right system?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say maybe a little bit of research, number one. Number two, go to abby.com. We can handle it for you. It's,
Right.
all of our employees here are so passionate about what they do. It's so easy, abby.com. And then what you do is just enter a little bit of your information. You can start a 14-day free trial. You can speak with one of our sales consultants who will find out what your business goals are, what you're looking to do, and then they'll make sure that you get set up with the right plan. And that's what's so great about organization is we care about our customers. I mean, I'm sure everyone does, but we really care about our customers and clients, and we want to make sure that it's the right fit for their business and their organization, and we want to make sure that they get out of it what they're trying to get out of it.
Right.
So from there, you would just sign up for it, and then we offer that complimentary onboarding. You can be
Yeah.
onboarded and signed up in the same day.
Wow. And so it sounds, so I think what I'm hearing is it's not a complex thing to do. So do your
No.
research, find the company you want to go with. And I think one of the key things is make sure they have the support. It's not like a paint by numbers where you're kind of out there on your own, doing, it's just like, we're going to send you a PDF of how to set up your thing. Like, make sure you have the support, the people there that can answer your questions, help you make changes where are needed, or can show you how to do it right to refine the system.
Yeah.
Would a mistake also being like thinking once I set it up the first time, it's just set it and forget it and I don't need to tweak it and alter it? Or would you recommend for the first little while, they're kind of spending a couple minutes each day or at the end of each week reviewing and saying, oh, okay, maybe we need to add a prompt here. I'm not happy with the way we're answering this question. We're missing an opportunity, and then going and adding that to it.
Definitely. And I love that you called that out because a lot of other services out there are completely self serve. So essentially, you sign up for the AI receptionist, and it's basically like figure it out type of
Right.
vibe to where um, a lot of our customer or our company is very customer service focused. So if
Right.
we find that somebody's not getting the value, we're calling them and asking if they need help setting it up or
Mhm.
what they're looking to accomplish. And yeah, looking at your call flow and reviewing some of the calls, definitely very important. And I'm sure as time goes on too, sometimes as a business owner, you would realize, I'm getting a lot of these calls. I think I'm going to go in and tweak my AI
Right.
receptionist to handle these calls that way. We
Yeah.
recently had a client too that set up a VIP flow. So they have their whole very important person list. It's about 10 people, and they set it up specifically as different call types. So if Susie Smith calls in, it does one thing. If
Oh, amazing.
John
Wow.
Smith calls in, it does another thing. And that's because they were dealing with a lot of their high paying clients saying things like, I don't want to be asked a bunch of questions, which
Right.
I can completely understand. It
Yeah.
should recognize them. So it really depends on preference and exactly what you're looking to get out of it. It's not, I mean, you can set it and forget it hypothetically, but to get the best out of the service, it's
Yeah.
always good to tweak it and adjust it.
Sure. Yeah, that's amazing. And then the last question, and I don't know if this is in what the scope of what you guys do, but it sounds to me like this would also be a very effective tool for essentially inbound sales.
Yeah, definitely. It
And
would
can
be a
you train it to do that? So say I have 10 different widgets and someone's calling in and wanting a quote on widgets. Are you able to do that as well? Or is it you guys really just focus on the virtual assistant stuff?
no, that's great. So you would be able to set up like qualifying questions, kind of like a if that, then this type of
Yeah.
call
Okay.
flow, to where if it asks us a specific question, then the receptionist, you can add in what we call say text to where it's specific scripting. So if somebody says, I'm interested in this widget, the the AI receptionist would follow that specific flow. And depending
Right.
on what they asked, it would go that route.
And so that could be good for getting qualifying information for people, setting them up in your CRM,
Yeah.
and then sending it to that salesperson saying, have Corey on the phone. He's interested in buying 100 of widget A. He works with this company. Do you want to talk to him or not?
Yep, could collect all of that information and send it over to Corey, and Corey could follow up.
Wow. See, I think that's a really cool thing too.
Absolutely. We've had so many different clients using this service. We've had hospitals using it to route callers to the specific
Amazing.
department. We've had beauty industry attorneys, dentists. So just so many different clients finding value in this service.
Is there a limit to how many calls it can take at one time?
No.
So I guess it just depends on how many lines you have coming into your business. So if I have 5 incoming lines, it can have a call going on all 5 lines.
Yeah, definitely.
Holy crap. This
I
is
know.
cool.
It's like having 100 employees in one.
For $150 a month.
Right, right. Well, and I mean, it really depends too on the call volume as
Sure.
well.
So is that how the pricing works? Is it based
Yes,
on okay.
it's based on how many minutes you need.
Cool. That's amazing. All right. So if I've been listening to this and I'm thinking, Marianne, I need to talk to Abby and learn about the virtual assistants, AI virtual assistant, how can we get in touch with you?
Oh, you would just go to abby.com. There's a very simple get in touch with us link and walk through that information. You can even call us at 877-303-5757 and we'll
You
get you all
just
taken
messed
care
Matt
of.
up so bad. He likes to be prepared for all these and he didn't have your phone number. Watch. It's going to pop up. There it is.
Perfect. Give us
Yeah.
a
And
call.
then I think, Matt, did we have Marianne's LinkedIn as well? There it is. Mlechick.
Malay
Mlechick.
check. You got it.
Check. There you go. All right. Marianne, that was incredible. That is it's one of those happy surprises where you're like, okay, AI virtual assistant, but then you get into it and you're like, oh my God, there's so much stuff that you could do here.
Yeah.
This is where AI is so I think the perception out there might be, oh man, an AI assistant, it's not going to do the job and it's going to be a huge pain in the ass to set up and it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. And you've
Mm.
just dispelled all 3 of those. It's like it can do so much more than you think. It's really pretty simple to set up. And based on your call volume, it can be, I mean, if you got 100 calls coming in a day and you don't want to miss one, pay the money. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If one of those calls turns into a sale, it's just paid for itself.
I mean, especially if one is like your $1 million call, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on the show today. I think
Sure.
there's a
Thank
ton of
you.
value there. It's been a fun and educational conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Same.
Awesome. All right. Marianne Mlechick. We got it right this time. That was super cool. So be sure to check out Abby. We'll make sure we put the link in the show notes as well. If you're, I'm going to shout it out again. If you're listening, watching, wherever you are, just like, subscribe, follow us, help us spread the word. We really have been growing like crazy lately, and we want to make sure we get the message out to as many people as possible. So if you're part of the community, you're a regular listener, if you could like it, follow it. I know we send out lots of reminders, and you probably don't need to follow us because you're getting a reminder from us. But if you could do it just to help us out, I would appreciate it. Send me your texts with your questions, comments, ideas for shows. I love to get those. And also connect with me on LinkedIn. Just let me know. Say, hey, Corey, listen to the pod. And I'd love to connect, and I will definitely accept that connection. I'd like to thank you for listening to the Key Hire Small Business Podcast. My name is Corey Harlock. I have been your host. And until next time, stop grinding, start growing.